Brian Hummel here, walking through a typical hill country landscape. All of these lower branches from the juniper trees prevent animals from getting in there. The problem is sometimes they also prevent light from getting to the ground, and you end up with a monoculture of juniper, which is not healthy. You want a diverse landscape. So the way that I promote fixing that problem is coming to the juniper trees and cutting off a lot of those lower branches. Go ahead and leave bands that are really thick so you don't have, super easy flow for animals and traffic and larger animals. But thin out the branches and lay them down on contour. Earlier we saw how well they hold back debris, but the other thing it really does is it opens up the whole landscape. This landowner wanted me to come down here and cut down all of these trees at the base. And they were big and bushy. They were bushy like the ones we just walked through. But he wanted me to cut them all down at the base, and I basically said no. We don't want to do that. So I trimmed them all up, and now what you're left with is basically shaded forest that you can easily walk through. And I'm laying all the branches down. These I'm actually going to grind up, but this next row up above and this row right here, I'm laying the branches down in a pattern that slows the water. So as the water comes rushing off the hill, it gets stopped by one filter and another filter and another filter. And what you can see is when you slow the water down, the plants and grasses that come back are tremendously healthier. We're getting lots of new recruitment of young oak trees. We've got some wildflowers. The results are amazing. As soon as you just tweak the water just a little bit and you provide it a little bit more water, you filter the runoff, so instead of it being a negative process, it becomes a positive process. You catch back a lot of organic matter, and you have a much healthier, much lusher environment. And it just happens by doing the microdetritus berms on a landscape scale, using debris that most people cut down, put into huge piles, and burn up. And it burns me up to see that happening, because I know something that landowner doesn't know. I know that leaving the brush on the ground provides you so much incredible benefit that burning it up is an enormous waste. Just an enormous waste. This is very similar to the flood debris. It's sort of the same processes as the flood debris coming in the river. It slows down the water, but now I'm slowing it down over the entire landscape. The water never gets more than about 2 inches thick, and it all soaks in. So this landscape is losing tremendously less water than it used to, and because of that, it's tremendously healthier than it used to be. I'll try to add some of my before pictures to the video, but there was never grasses up to my waist here. This was basically a waste land, and now it's a grassland up to my waist. Not everywhere, but in a lot of places. I had little blue stem, all native, up to my waist high grasses. And then the new stuff, this is even healthier. These little lines of juniper debris have only been here for maybe 2 years. I'd have to go back and look at my photos, but I don't think this is more than 2 years old. And what used to be a big bushy tree is now going to be a tall straight tree. Tall straight tree. So over time, what was going to be a burn pile is now going to be a very useful cedar post, and it's going to provide shade from our very intense summer suns. And these are amazingly drought tolerant. They're not water suckers. Basically, in dry times, these things turn off and they don't pump any water from the ground. Thanks for watching, guys.